All right, what's up, y'all? Listen. Last tried to get it started a little bit ago, had some issues, camera acting up, and I realized I wasn't going live on Facebook either. So I restarted it. I'm working with Restream now. Shout out to them. Um, to the StreamYard. So trying to figure out some things, seeing which one I want to go with. So that's what we got going on. But getting back into the conversation, the first conversation I want to talk about is keep your hands to yourself. Now, let me let everybody know if you would love to have your comment on there. As you see, feel free to comment because I enjoy the back and forth, and that makes this type of video better when I have the comments to go back and forth. And I put y'all opinions out. Nobody has to agree with me, but I'm going to put out, how I feel about the situations. So today we're going to be talking about keep your hands to yourself. We're going to be talking about not downplaying your accomplishments. And then we're also going to speak about my issues with Tyler Perry. Now, I did that one a little bit before, but I got to go into a little more. We got a new movie out, same old thing. But I think my perspective is reasonable on all of these. But speaking of that, let's talk about keeping your hands to yourself. Gentlemen, I need you to do exactly what that says. I'm speaking to y'all right now. I'm going to get to the ladies in a minute. Gentlemen, keep your hands to yourself. There are so many situations going on right now. Social media has made it where you can see everything that's going on. People can go with the click, show what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying that it was okay for daddies and grandpas and all of that to do it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you don't have the luxury to make the mistakes anymore. You have to stop hitting on people because they don't agree with you, or she didn't fry the chicken the correct way that you wanted. Y'all got to chill with that. Okay? Stop being so emotionally driven to the point of where you got to put your hands on everybody the moment they disagree with you. Now, I'm not saying you got to tolerate disrespect from male to male and things like that. Those things can be handled in certain ways. And I'm not opposed to you got to pull up on somebody, whatever, but remember, times is different now too. Guns is readily available. And whatever violence that you bring, it can easily be brought back times 10. You might just be willing to fight. That other person line is not the same. Everybody doesn't have the same morality. And I need y'all to understand, as men, we, first of all, we have an extra burden to regulate our emotions, whether it's fair or not. Okay. In general, you're stronger. Just that fact right there. Now, it doesn't excuse anything. So please don't come here talking about, oh, well, they be hitting people and da 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 da. Yeah, cool. That's fine. Again, I'm talking to my fellas right now. What I need you to do is I need you to understand that you have that burden of responsibility. There's just certain things that just are how they are in life. Okay, you're stronger. You're supposed to be logical. But too many times, fellas, we keep going into situations and putting our hands on people. Now, where this is coming from is recently, I mean, there's a bunch of different situations. For instance, DDG and all of that, and the physical stuff that's going on in their relationship. I talked about that last week, right? But what I also need you fellas to understand is it's not just about your baby mama. It's not just about relationships. It, stop trying to use physical intimidation to get your way. Oh, you didn't agree with me. Oh, you said something I didn't like. So I'm gonna pull up. You know what I'm saying? Even disrespect to a certain degree, words are words. And while I do understand that there's to be consequences to even your words, okay. But gentlemen, The opposite sex needs to be protected. We've got to stop going into physical intimidation just because we mad, threatening to throw hands every little time. I know a gentleman, he's not directly in my social group, but he's one of those that, want to say, I guess we used to call it, pause, but we used to call it firehead or whatever. It was a type of just fly off the bat. Okay. And I used to be like that when I was a child. Even as a young adult, I was, more aggressive. But what I had to realize is that was male to male, that wasn't female. Now I'll argue, I'll debate, whatever, 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 but I go home and it's done with. If you're not directly attacking my character, we just talking. And even if you are, feel how you want to feel. That's your business. But what we end up doing is some people, when they feel they're losing the argument or losing the debate or losing the conversation, it's not going their way, then that's the tried and true tactic. And that's not right. Let me let y'all know something, okay? The punishment needs to fit the crime. That's my personal opinion, okay? Keep your hands to yourself. And your homeboy need to tell you the same thing too. We're not policing each other as men like we should be. And I want to address that for a second. We are not. Some of us aren't. Okay. Let me put that caveat. We're not addressing each other how we should be. All right. We're letting each other get away with a lot of stuff that we shouldn't. And this is one thing. If you know your homeboy around here putting his hands on a young lady that he's dating, lady period. I just call everybody young ladies out of respect. You as a man should be like, hey, I ain't telling you get involved in it. That's not what I'm saying, but physically or anything like that. But I think you need to say, yo, you tripping. It don't need to go like that. So let's look at it from another perspective. What you can lose from getting into that. A relative of mine was involved in a domestic violence case. It got real heavy. The lady cheated on him. All right. He was going off into deployment and or he'd have extra duty, be gone for long periods of time. That was part of his job. Yes, she knew his job. He was that when they got together. But somehow she felt lonely. She needed more time. She decided to be with other people. He started getting hints of, smells in the house a little different. He called, she would stop picking up. One day, left his charger at the house, did a backtrack, came back like an hour so later. Supposed to do 48-hour duty on base. He comes back. There's a guy running out the house. He hears front door open, and then he hears back door close. The guy jumped out the house so quick, left his shoes there. Type shoes this guy doesn't wear. Finds out about that. And in another situation prior had just kind of happened a week or two prior where there was some potential infidelity. He snapped, put his hands on the young lady, started choking her. He was wrong. She files, ends up the place that they're at, wasn't going to allow her to take it back. That state pushes any type of charge like that. He ended up losing his career, He was high ranking in the military, not allowed to carry weapons anymore. So security jobs, stuff like that, that was part of what he did there. Couldn't get certified for the top level jobs. Went into a spiral. Things happened. The gentleman is back on his feet now, but it took him a few years. That's how these things can spiral. When if you just keep your hands to yourself. Emotional regulation is very important for us, gentlemen. It's okay to experience these emotions. It's fine. It's okay. But how you choose to move after that situation. I say this a lot. There was a poem I had to learn. I used to go to conduct summer school. And there was a poem that I had to learn. It was by Charles Swindoll. It was called Attitude. The longer I live, I the longer I live, the more I understand the effect attitude has on life. It goes on to say something, I'm paraphrasing, that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. So bad things are going to happen. Situations are going to happen, but how we react to them will determine the snowball effect. I know y'all know that. Take a snowball, roll it down a mountain, longer it goes, bigger it gets. People say shit rolls downhill. It does. It's crazy the amount of issues that can be solved through emotional regulation. And I'm a type of person, I feel my emotions, okay? But I've learned to find outlets, talk to people that you trust, get you one or two, don't get you 5, 10, because the more people you tell your business to, the more it's gonna get out. Whether it's counseling, I've got plenty of trauma, but I haven't had any major like jail instances or anything like that since I was like 22, 23 years old. Been to jail once or twice. Even that stuff was light type stuff, nothing that crazy type stuff. But you can be mad, you can be angry, but you don't how you react in that way can take so much time and issue. I'm going through stuff right now I'm fucking upset about. I done had people use me, people forget about me, people I've had friends that I feel some kind of way about. But guess what? How you react determines so much stuff. And it can make the situation worse. All right. So, gentlemen, I'm going to say this again. Keep your hands to yourself because things can only get worse once you step in that realm. And you just shouldn't. I don't like to try to high horse a super moral person. I understand things happen. But we talking about just straight, like you fighting a young lady, a lady, a female, whatever word you want to, the opposite gender, over whatever. Move on. Also, this also coming from when y'all are approaching these young ladies, for y'all single guys, when y'all are approaching these ladies, right? Please understand a no is a no. I don't care if she got jazzy with you. I don't care. Remove yourself from the situation. These ladies shouldn't have to go get on social media and talk crazy for you to leave. If she says no, thank you. I understand maybe, the guy in me, because there was a time where if at first you don't succeed, try again. There was a time for that. Okay. That's not that time anymore. If she say no, thank you. All right, cool. There's nothing wrong with asking a question. There's nothing wrong with hollering at somebody. Nothing wrong with telling her you think she's pretty, giving a compliment. But after that initial, hey, okay, no, thank you. I got a boyfriend, or just no, thank you. I'm not interested. It don't have to be said flowery. You wasn't disrespected. She can say, Nah, I'm good, bro. Yeah, I'm good. Leave me alone. That is a no. Take your no and disappear. Stop getting in your feelings. That's what I mean about emotional regulation. It's too many gentlemen now that have issues with hearing the word no. And that in itself is a big problem. And I'm on because what y'all are doing is, first of all, y'all are making it bad for the half of the decent niggas that's out here. You're making people extra bitter before you even get there. And you wonder why they go out in groups of five plus ladies. And we try to get mad at the young lady that's the one that's, more the, I guess, aggressive of the group, that's just like, hey, nah, we all leaving, we all going home. It's a reason why they have to do that, because some of y'all fools are running up to these ladies and not accepting no, or when a bug come around 7 times. Buying a drink or buying some dinner or buying something does not mean you have access to that person. Now, dating and I guess pickup protocol should mean that maybe she speaks to you for a little bit if she accepts the drink and all that. But guess what? We're not in those times no more. Times have changed. So y'all 30, 35, 40, 50-year-old guys that's out here, like, it's different than when it was back then. Everything is microwave, is speed. Okay, be glad that somebody isn't wasting your time. Be glad that somebody isn't letting you do all that talking and then at the end, I'm good. They telling you off rip now. But these women should not have to be scared to have to give a number because they scared of you acting crazy at the club, or you gonna put their hands on them, or that bitch fuck her and this and that and the third. Bruh, she don't want you. I know you put on your fresh outfit. I know you went and you got on your cologne and you done spent all this money on them new shoes and you thought that Charlotte was going, holler at you. No, that ain't how it go. No means no. All right, that's enough of that topic. We're gonna move to another one that's near and dear to me. We're gonna talk about never downplay your accomplishments. Now, there is the art of war, right? Where Sun Tzu teaches different things, how to move, and that's a book or whatever, for those who don't know. And it's a way of life. And one of the things that they teach in there is, which has worked for years, is never outshine the master. I got a problem with that. Okay. Now, when we talk about outshining, okay, maybe when the context of that, but I don't believe in downplaying my accomplishments to make other people feel good. If I want to talk about what I did in the past, especially if it's applicable to whatever the situation that we're talking about, I'm a damn sure do it. And if you have a problem with that, if you have a problem with me and my light shining, then guess what? I just ain't for you, because it might come up. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, I've done that. Now, I don't believe in one-upmanship. All right, if you're talking about what you're good at and all of that, da 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 da, let you have your time, let you have your space. You do you. Not that. So before people go to that, I don't believe in that. Well, oh, I ran this and da 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 da. Oh yeah, I ran that too, and I did that in even a faster time. And it seems like there's some people every time you say something about yourself. But I'm talking about just the people that, oh man, he's brash, she's cocky, he's arrogant, or she's cocky, or she always talking about what she's done and da 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 da. Well, you know what? Sometimes there's a time and a place for that. And we have to understand and not get in our feelings because somebody else is talking about what they have done and their accomplishments. We need to learn how to celebrate other people. If you do hair and you fire at it, and you do what you do, and you want to talk about it, you get on social media and you talking about your hair and da da da, you use that for promotion. That's what promotion is, basically a form of bragging. You're talking about what you do and talking about your quality. Hopefully, you address your quality in whatever it is that you do. So, what is wrong with you talking about your accomplishments and what you do? I tell people by the time I was 32, I've lived a life, a full life already. I could write a fucking book. I'm turning 39. By the time I was 32, we talking about home ownership. We talking about being a teacher. We talking about being in the military, being a leader of men in multiple aspects in my life, whether it's peer groups, whether it's military, been in charge of shops, done public speaking in front of hundreds of people, giving advice to people who in this community that people or feel that they're higher ups. They've came to me for advice on multiple occasions. That's the type of stuff I will talk about. And guess what? If it hurts your feelings that I talk about that, I don't want to be around you anyway. I don't want people around me that don't have belief in themselves. All this depressed shit all the time. I'm tired of all this. You got to be humble. You got to put your head down. You got to walk. You know, you can't walk with your head up. You a uppity motherfucker. You this, you that. I'm tired of all this shit, bruh. I've had to do 80% of what I've accomplished by my own with no help. I got 2 degrees. Just saying. Podcaster, radio host, public speaker, fire on the mic for hosting gigs, own business, EJ Thomas Entertainment, LLC. I put everybody together, do what it is. Great events coming up, great events I've done, been part of. There's nothing wrong with saying your accomplishments, right? We don't want to see other people win. That's what it really be. We don't want to see other people win. We don't want to hear about other people winning. You know, they be like, see no evil, do no evil, speak no evil. Nah, we don't want to hear anybody doing good. We don't want to hear anybody talking about themselves doing good. Won't share shit that a motherfucker do. Show up. I see that nigga. It's a nigga that probably don't watch this one right now. Might be watching at this moment. You ain't gonna share it. You ain't gonna look at it. You ain't gonna like nothing. Because we don't want people to do well. We always want the support. We always want all that. But I'm not going to downplay my accomplishments. Now, I will go out and I will share other people's stuff. I will help other people's stuff. I will be there for you. I just need reciprocation. But I'm not going to downplay who I am to make you feel better. And what they say, that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's on Humpty Dumpty. But we ain't having no fall in this motherfucker, just to let you know. So that's enough on that. Y'all, speak up. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That's what you need to do. And if the people have a problem with you doing that, if you always got those friends, man, calm down, chill out. You doing too much. They always doing that. Now, again, have common sense. There are some times when I might have done too much on something. Somebody that had to check me, hey, bro, calm. Hey, I'm your partner. We rock with each other. You're doing a little too much, my boy. Those people understood. But all those folks, hey, man, and man, why you talking like that? And why you doing that? Fuck every last one of y'all. All I had to do it by myself. So whether you watch it or not, whether you feel like that or not, I done put many people on the game in other things. So I know a little bit about what I'm doing, a little bit about what I'm doing. So anyway, the next thing we're going to talk about is, now I didn't put this one on the ticker, but I'm gonna run this round right here. This is gonna be the most controversial thing that I say today. We got Father's Day coming up very, very soon. And I want to address this so I can talk about how I really want to talk about it. Now, I'm gonna talk about this on the radio. Shout out to 98.3 The Beat. But I'm really gonna jump out right now, and I'm gonna let y'all know something. I started a hashtag in 2013, so that's 12 years ago. Hashtag Leave Father's Day Alone. Y'all go and y'all check it out so you can see that I'm being consistent on this. First off, I have 3 children. Okay, I have one son and 2 daughters. They go daughter, son, daughter. Oldest daughter just graduated from high school a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to her, 4.2 GPA. She's going to go to Valdosta State, damn near full ride. Proud of her. Other 2 kids, proud of them. Passing their classes, doing what they do, good behavior. For the most part, nobody's perfect. But let me say this. So as a father, I've always been there. No matter what weight I was, no matter how young I was. I came in, my 2 daughters are what people consider to be stepkids, right? Been in their lives since they've been 2 and 3 years old. And my son is biologically mine. So that's my breakdown on as a father. And I promise you, can't nobody say that I ain't been there in all of their lives. Can't nobody say that at the time when my son wasn't staying with me, I wasn't paying my child support, wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. Can't nobody say that at all. Been there. Let me tell y'all some real shit though. And y'all gotta leave Father's Day alone. Now, speaking to the ladies right now. If you're a single mother, you're not a father. Let me say that again. If you're a single mother, you are not a father. Stop claiming Father's Day because the man in your life happens to either not be there, a part-time dad, or whatever's going on. 1 second. See, one thing about these DSLR cameras or whatever, they shut down every like 20 minutes or whatnot. So I got to figure out a way around that. So if anybody knows, but let me get back to this. Leave Father's Day alone. If you are not, let me adjust this for a second. It's upsetting me. All right, leave Father's Day alone. If you are a single mother, you're not a father. And I know this upsets people. I've lost people that was in my, circle for years over this. They'll block me when I do it on social media. But you're not a father if you're a single mother. You're a mother who happens to take the burden. And I respect everything that you guys do. If the guy in your life ain't shit and you had to take care of this kid by yourself, or if he's just one that just sends money but never comes around, I feel for you. And I am sorry that happened. Because I don't care what happens between people in relationships. I talk to fathers all the time about things like legitimation, about that it takes more than just sending child support. Most of the time, the child support that is sent, especially if you have multiple kids at different places, is not enough to take care of the child any fucking way. Just taking consideration into the child's expenses. Some of them don't pay for after school activities. They don't pay for insurance. I agree with y'all on that. Those niggas ain't shit and they're not fathers. But this is for the good fathers. And this is to the single mothers. Father's Day is not the day to complain about your baby daddy, ex-husband, situationship, whatever sneaky link, talking about he ain't shit. I'm not getting into all of whether he wanted to have a kid and all of that. The kid comes, woman have autonomy. I fucks with you. Okay, you decided to have the baby. The guy didn't want to be there, whatever. If he ain't shit, he ain't shit. So I've addressed that. But that does not make you a father. Oh, I want to say happy Father's Day to all the single moms. No, that's bullshit. And please the hell up. Shut the fuck up. I ain't even gonna be nice about it. Shut the fuck up. You're not a father. I don't care. Your reasoning, yada yada yada. To be a father, there are some prerequisites. Okay. First of all, you need to be a male. I don't care what you're gonna say. You can call it toxic. You can call it whatever. But you need to be a male first of all. Okay. If you're in LGBT relationship, shout out to you. You're not a father. It's two mothers. That's what it is. You might be in a paternal role. You might identify whatever that you do. Sorry, you're just not. And more people need to be honest. Now, I respect what you're doing because remember, I'm a stepfather also. You're stepping into the gap for somebody that's not there. And I get it. And I'm cool. You got two mamas. That's what's up. Double Mother's Day. Parents' Day. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate that. But you are not a father. Now, also, again, for the guys that aren't in the life, Father's Day ain't for you. Because y'all messing it up. Y'all want to try to grab the kids, and you see your kid a couple of maybe Christmas and Father's Day. Then you want to take all these pictures and go online and social media got it fucked up. Then you want to complain, and the couple of times a year that you actually want to see your child, that you felt like, oh, I got some free time. My new chick, my new bitch, whatever you want to call her, my new wife, my new whatever, it's cool with me having a kid at this moment, so cool. Man, y'all be on some bullshit. This ain't for y'all. Y'all not fathers. You happen to have a child. That's what you happen to do. And so then when I try to fight for Father's Day and then they start showing all of this stuff, it's like, damn. It's hard to fight for y'all. Y'all won't get legitimated. Not paying child support, all that stuff, but cool. But to the ladies, listen, Father's Day is not the day to complain about your baby daddy. I know there are some males that have helped. I know there are some males that have been in your life. Your uncle, give him some props. Your father, give him some props. If he wasn't there, everybody tends to have at least some male influence in their life or whatever that's positive. It could be a cousin. It could be whatever. Celebrate them. There's 364 other days during the year, 365 on a leap year days that you can complain about your baby daddy, that you can complain about the guy that is not doing what he's supposed to do. Father's Day should be a celebration of good fathers, good men, and there are plenty of them that's out here. It's not just one or two. You actually go look up the stats of men that actually have their kids, and let's talk about black men. Okay. It's a majority. It's over 70% have some sort of custody and that are paying their child support since like it started like 2005, 2005. CDC census numbers, you can go look them up. So all of this in our community, oh, we don't take care of our children and stuff like that. Yes, we do. Now you don't have to be with the woman to take care of your kid. Co-parent properly and do what you're supposed to do. But I'm gonna fight for my guys and as for the good ones that are fathers. And like I said, you can look it up. Look up the hashtag Leave Father's Day Alone. Started in 2012, 2013, I think. So that's going on 12 years now. And I don't play by it. I have friends in the LGBT community that got upset with me when I first started. When I had less of a voice, didn't quite have like the platform. They still mad at me now. Some we've, mended that, but I've told them that my stance is going to stay the same. I can't help how you feel about what I say. I just want to address you personally. We won't talk about it personally. Leave it alone. Y'all gonna get online with all of this. Now, Mother's Day just passed, right? Now, there was a couple of years ago where some men started doing it because it became like the new hot button issue, and they did it to be funny. But it's not like they really believed it. Most of them don't believe it. Oh, I'm a single father, so or I do this and I do that, and so I'm a mother too, so I need to be celebrated during Mother's Day. No, most of us really do not believe that. We don't want to be a woman. We don't want to be a mother. That's not what we're trying to do. We want to be a father. So then already Father's Day itself is really shitted on. Okay. Only thing y'all give us most of the time is stuff that we can use or tie. We don't want socks and ties for Father's Day, by the way. We don't want that. Don't give me nothing to grill, so I got to grill for the whole family. Now, me personally, I like grilling, so I don't mind that. That's actually a way that I relax. Get outside with my phone, play some music on the speaker, going fishing, grilling, stuff like that I like to do. So for me, cool. But a lot of guys, that's like if your man buy you a vacuum cleaner for Mother's Day. You're going to be like, what the hell? Why are you buying me something for me to use? I want something that I can enjoy, not something that everybody is going to. It might sound selfish to some of y'all, but some days like that, it's supposed to be about that person. Just something to think about. Now, that's enough on that. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more closer to Father's Day. My next one about my issue with Tyler Perry. Okay, I know a lot of people have done this a lot lately because of the new movie that came out. I'm gonna give my take, and it's gonna be a little controversial, but we gonna go ahead and go give it anyway. Now I did a part one to this a few months, actually probably at least 6 months ago. My issue with Tyler Perry. Now, first, let's talk about the positives. I think Tyler Perry is very talented. I think that he has a niche and he knows where to hit it. He helps a lot of people in the industry, and that is where I agree with him. I personally know people in different realms. A photographer, shout out to Doug. He worked for Tyler Perry Studios. Learned a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, as you know, videography and stuff like that. Now due to that, he's been able to translate that into a full-time career as a photographer, videographer. Done movies with John Travolta down here in the area. You know, Georgia is a hot spot. They get a lot of tax breaks. So Atlanta and Columbus area, basically the new Hollywood, because they get a lot of tax breaks. So shout out to him and being able to take that career. So I get it. He helps a lot of people in different ways. Taraji speaks glowingly of him. The guy that was in, I don't think know his name. Maybe one of y'all to tell me, but the light skinned guy that was married to Tia, Tamara, it was Tia, I think, and resurrected his career. They do a great job with things like that. Now, to the average person, though, and from my perspective, because I'm an average person, I have an issue with the way that black men are portrayed in the majority of his movies. It's not this just specific movie, right? Um, First, let me address this specific movie. I think it was pretty good. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Were there some unbelievable things that happened? Yeah. But I do think that the movie represented a lady who was pushed too far and who snapped mentally. My problem with are the think pieces coming out of the movie and people absolving her for what she did. I'm not one of those that believe that mental illness should get you out of different crimes. So there's been a lot of think pieces. She really didn't do anything wrong. Let me tell you this: killing someone because they're an asshole. No, I just spoke earlier. Let the punishment fit the crime. Yes, she got fired. Cool. Yes, a traumatic event happened before that. It was traumatic for that gentleman also. But for him to lose his life, now you want to say because he was within his rights, everything that he did, whether you like it or not, laws are laws. And he didn't have to give her a check. When you get fired, they send it to you. When you receive checks, that's what has happened. I know a lot of you on direct deposit now. I remember there was a time where I received paper checks. I got let go from a job. I did not get that check because, first of all, there's things that you have to turn in. There's aprons, all this type of stuff. You don't turn it in, they can take money. The legality part, and I know that hurts. A lot of y'all get mad and upset about the legality of stuff. And I get on here and I talk about this all of the time. Your feelings, it's like I talk about being emotionally regulated for the men, same thing for anybody else. Your feelings don't always matter as much as we want them to. Just like my opinions don't matter. This just happens to be my vehicle, my show. If you choose to look, cool. But my opinion doesn't matter. I just try to give an opinion based on the facts that are at hand. And he didn't have to give her a check. He didn't have to allow her to be gone. She was 2 hours late. There was a lot of things that happened. He spoke about this not being the first time. There's always something that comes up. Yes, we know the background of it. It was her daughter. Cool. But again, these jobs don't have to keep you. And I'm not saying that it's right, but for him to lose his life in that situation, now all the other stuff, there's circumstances and stuff that I can kind of walk away and I can kind of, understand. But that right there was the main part that one of the biggest issues that I had with that. Now, Tyler Perry in general. But again, the movie I thought was well acted. I think Tiana Taylor did a great job. Taraji did a great job. They were believable in those roles. I didn't think of Tiana Taylor as like a sex object, like she normally portrays in other movies. This was actually she was acting. I could see her as that tough woman cop that still has that softness to understand the perspective of what was going through in that movie. Great job with the acting. Even the side actors. Oh, another thing. Old girl, Tessa. Tessa was not wrong at all. Again, we use our feelings. Somebody is robbing a bank, has a gun, is waving it around. That lady is protecting herself and trying to get everybody else out. Yes, we know some other things, but sometimes them sob stories, don't nobody care. You got my life in danger. I'm trying to protect myself. Tessa did nothing wrong. Start that hashtag. Tess, is it Tessa or Tess, whatever her name is, did nothing wrong. That is the new hashtag, y'all. Y'all follow that. When I get off, I'm gonna put it on there. She ain't do nothing wrong. What they say of being mature is realizing that Tessa did nothing wrong. That's the new post, y'all. She did what she had to do to try and get herself out of that type of situation. All right, now, Tyler Perry in general. My issues. I talked about the positive, right? Try to consider both sides. The negative is one, black men are always put in a negative light. And I have a very big problem with that. I get it. You went through trauma. I get it. You were molested. I get it. I understand that. You're talking about what you know. Every man is not a child molester. Every man is not a rapist. Every man is not a pedophile. Every man is not a just an evil guy. There'll be one good man in the movie. He's got to be the main lead. And then you'll have 20 other bad examples and bad guys. And it's like, bruh, that's my issue with it. Now, I get it. You have showing the pain of what we go through to a certain extent. But there are positive moments in life. There are great things that we have accomplished. Then he always get to be the good guy. When he plays a male character, Tyler Perry get be Superman. He literally is Alex Cross, who is a modern day Superman. There's a movie before the TV show came out. TV show was great. Movie was okay. Didn't hate the movie. I just kept hearing Madea when he was talking. When he got excited. Whenever he got animated in that movie, I could hear Madea come out. So that was my issue with that movie. But anyway, in general, that's my problem. Every black man or most of the black men are bad, but he gets to be the good one. He can do everything. He get to hoop. He a lawyer. He's always a good guy. What's up, bro? I'm live right now, bro. I'm gonna hit you back. And that be my biggest issue. And it's just like, yo, there's other good dudes. Even on my favorite one, which is Daddy's Little Girls. Of course, that appeals to me as a father, as a guy who was going through hard times, just like he shows with the ladies, stuff like that. You got him and the guy who owns his shop that he works for. All the rest of the gentlemen are bad. Then he gets shitted on during half the movie because he doesn't make a whole lot of money. Everybody else is the drug dealers, gangsters, until finally the last 2 minutes of the movie, people come together in the neighborhood. So, but that's the type of stuff that y'all like. And that is my issue because I don't have a problem with, I'm not going to say pandering, I'm going to say catering to your niche audience. He has found out how to make millions, billions of dollars, and I swear. Now, I could do that, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to be red pill. I know it'd be easy for me to get up here and just talk shit about women all day and join the gender wars and be on the women ain't shit type stuff. Only men are all great. Women suck. I bet I can get a hell of a lot more views. I promise you that. I know I can because some of my highest rated things are when I say something like that. That's why I try to stay away from it as much as possible unless I feel like I really, really, really have to. Because that's what sells nowadays. You can't be positive. When I started moving to more positive content, my stuff dropped down. My motion I had even going on in my own city started dropping. When I was Mr. Controversy, everybody wanted me on their show. When I was out here, you know what I'm saying, trying to, start stuff. I ain't gonna say start stuff because I would address situations, not necessarily people. When I was purposely trying to be super controversial, oh yeah, it was looking good. Them Facebook checks was looking pretty good. But when I pulled back and I started doing more tailored content to everybody and wanted to make sure that everybody is represented, like even in this show, I'm talking about don't downplay your accomplishments. I'm telling guys, don't put their hands on no female. And other guys, we need to check them for doing it. And I'm also talking about, issue with Tyler Perry and Father's Day. So there's different types of content. I do that. But I'm going to keep going and I'm going to do what I feel is right. I'm going to do what I feel is the right thing to do. I will never become that red pill podcaster. That's not me. I'm community based and then I'm social media based with the subjects and I do my best. I give my opinion, but I do my best to consider both sides. We all have blind sides, but it is what it is. But getting back to Tyler Perry, those movies, nah. We got to do better. But y'all eat it up. And the only comeback that you ever really hear is if you don't like it, don't watch it. Okay, but what are we representing? What are we doing ourselves? See, I don't watch baddies. Y'all can't use that stuff against me. I don't watch those type of stuff. I don't watch the male versions either. I don't do housewives. There was a brief time where I was working with a group. It was mostly women at a job, and that's all they would talk about. And I did go like watch a little bit, so I could kind of be part of the conversation. in there because that's literally all they would talk about was reality TV. And I was just like, and I was younger then too, real young. I was like 20, early 20s. And so real early 20s. And it's like, those type of shows. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good on that. I don't watch that. I talked about I don't do a lot of the struggle movies. I don't like to watch the 12 minutes, 12 Years a Slave and stuff like that. Now I watch Nat Turner. I watch Sinners because it's the positivity behind it also. So I'm being consistent. At least the Medea stuff is funny. You wear a dress, whatever, it's cool. I don't, whatever. That's their business. But always putting us in a bad light, nah. We all aren't, or just we all aren't like that. There's a large percentage of us that are nowhere near that do none of those type of things. So you can watch it, that's fine, but that's my take on it. Again, I think the movie was pretty good in all, like it was well acted, but the behind the scenes about what it meant and all of that, that's my issue. So I said I was going to be under an hour today. We are at 51 minutes. The last thing that I will leave you with is, if we want the world to be better, then we need to treat people how we want to be treated. I promise you, if we just did that one simple thing, there'll be so much less murder, so much less everything. Because if you really go and you think about it, if you treat people how you want to be treated, most people want to be treated pretty well. It's kind of common sense. The reason why they call it the golden rule in the Bible. So for those who see, I've been working on the video, working on lighting, got some new lights. It's 720 on here, but I can get up to 1080p on StreamYard. So I'm going back and forth, seeing what looks better, so that way when I get the ladies back in here. Also, there will not be a show this week. That's why I did it today. There will not be an official hot seat where we have the interviews and all of that with the ladies, O'Shawn and Elise. This Friday, I'm going out of town, so I had to cancel the interview. Sorry to who the person was going to be on. I will reschedule with you. Won't say your name, anything like that. Somebody needs to know that. I apologize. Got to go out of town. Stuff for church. I have to be a chaperone for other children, and the ones who graduated and other stuff like that, going out of town. So I will be out of town. Also, the next time you see, background will be different because I'm moving into a different studio, still under Delonte Studio X. Shout out to him. But I'm moving to a different studio for sound quality reasons, trying to make sure that I can give you the best that I can give you. So thank you very much. Everybody who tunes in, everybody who looks, everybody who shares, thank you very much for it. I love you. And let's just keep this ride, keep this going. Anybody that wants to be part of the hot seat, also hit me up. If you've been watching this, you know how to hit me up. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook today. It's going to be on Spotify, all sorts of things. If you want to interview, or if you want to come on the show and just talk some shit or whatever, if you have some perspective that you want to talk about, please feel free to hit me up. EJ Thomas on Facebook, that you're probably watching on now. Also, people, please go to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe for me. I'm trying to move people over to that. It's better for different reasons for those who are content creators. You understand, Facebook is deleting videos after every live videos after every 30 days, so they don't stay on the algorithm, anything like that. Your views get deleted. YouTube, obviously, just they're on there forever. So I'm trying to move the viewership over. So please go to my YouTube, like, share, subscribe for your boy, so we can continue to catch the content. And any topics that you want to talk about, feel free to hit my inbox. Put them on there, man. And if you don't want to come on there, you just want them to be talked about, I got you. All right. I'm out. Conversation, baby. They call it Mr. Conversation, baby. They call it Mr. Conversation, baby. Come sit in this hot seat, latest information, daily. He the boss of the streets, can't compare so
versatile. Trying to keep up is gonna take a while. Talk games on wild style.
Shout out to J Bix.
They call it Mr. Conversation, baby.
Hey,
come sit in this
I know I got the intro in the city. I know.
He the voice of the streets, can't compare, so versatile. Try to keep up is gonna take a while. Talk games on wild style. Just tune in, let him run you down. Mr. Conversation, baby.
All right, we out, y'all.
Mr. Conversation.